Hi there, welcome to Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka. This is a place where we help you unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. My goal is to create a virtual platform for you and I to explore and engage in pertinent conversations society is silent about. What you get out of this is without a doubt a chance for you to have moments of self-assessment so that you can ably jump into your next best season. I am your host, Nabuguzi Kiwanuka, a lawyer, founder, stroke team lead of Equate Foundation, an addict and lover of insightful conversations, and a professional unraveler of social constructs. If you're hearing my voice for the first time and are the kind of person who is not scared of being a better version of yourself, even if it requires you to contradict who you were 24 hours ago, you made the right choice to come here, because here we keep unraveling the true version of ourselves to reveal the best that we can be. To the returned subscriber, a moment of silence. You're the guest of honor. I don't know what I should do for you. You're the reason I keep coming back, and I hope that I will forever serve the content that you need. Now, this conversation right here, this episode, it's a whole cocktail I didn't foresee. Laughter, war experience, Christianity, empowerment, growth, stereotypes, confidence in self, plus how we have to deconstruct social constructs. It's a whole cocktail. Of course, I keep getting surprised by the stories that are unraveled here on, but then again, it's a reminder that all of us are moving stories with facts we barely speak about. Otim Joel is a whole vibe. He is a lawyer and a co-host of Broken Windows who is determined to create a society that he so desires for himself and the generation to come. I'm becoming a DJ. And for the generation to come, to fit the purpose of the podcast, he is not a foreigner to unraveling social constructs. He, like some of us, or even none of us, like some of us, unraveled himself for the greater good and managed to step into his confidence like our boss. Join us in this conversation. Hi, Otim.
Hi, Kiwanuka.
Right, you failed to pronounce the other name.
Yes, I will leave that for
Try.
my relatives.
For my relatives?
Yes. I'm okay with
You might
this.
become my relative. You never know. You might
and-
become my relative. I have
True,
sisters.
true.
I have.
Ah, you do? No, you what? You're telling me this now?
Please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Yes, my name is Joel Otim
Yeah.
Obunak. I am...
Obinak.
you see, Obunak.
Obunak. No, it's not hard. I can
It's
say
not hard?
I can say that one. Obunak.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
It means hold tight.
Hold.
Yeah, it
Okay.
means I do my things like that. I hold them tightly.
Right.
Yeah. A lawyer by profession. I also host a podcast,
Yeah.
intending also to be a podcast called Broken Windows 256.
Broken Windows to 5-6.
Yes, I also love to write things to myself and about myself, because no one has really read them. That is why I say to myself. So yes.
Oh, when you say that you like to write to yourself, I imagined Dear Otim.
No.
I am
not
thinking
that
about
lonely.
you too. It's not about loneliness.
Yes,
it's
it
okay.
is,
You know,
it is.
it's good if you can show yourself love. You actually do understand.
Really, in a
Yes.
very intimate way.
Yeah, you need to be intimate with yourself.
No,
Trust me,
no,
you
no,
need to
no,
be
no.
intimate with yourself so that you understand best. You know, when
okay.
someone gives you the intimacy, you're like, yeah, that is what I need.
So is it something you do? Is this how
I
you
used
love
to,
yourself?
but I think I should redo it.
Yeah,
I
get
need to
yourself
write to
something
myself.
like a diary.
No.
Yeah,
when
be
someone
a-
lands on it,
You see,
when
those
someone
are the
lands on it,
feelings.
it's like, But of course, you know, it's number to be intimate with yourself. So what did you want to be while growing up?
Oh, I wanted to be a pastor.
What?
Yes, I wanted to be a pastor.
You're serious?
Very serious. My dad is a reverend, and yes,
makes sense.
I looked up to him a lot. Not just him.
Yeah.
But yes, I also grew up in a very Christian Baptist family.
Well, I've heard people talk about Baptists. Who are Baptists? I've not taken time to really read about it.
The way I can describe who Baptists are, because we have particular values, but the most that is different from most religions is our baptism has to be through immersion. They have to immerse you in water.
Yeah.
That is one. Two, we believe in studying the word other than being told the word. So preaching is usually through a discussion.
So dialogue.
It's a dialogue between, so it's more, I think, because how we grew up is for you to actually get to learn this whole Baptist thing. You go through what, by then, I don't think they still do. Yeah, I think they still do master projects. You go through like a master project, 1, 2, 3, 4 different books and all of them just talk about Jesus and how he used to teach the 12 disciples and how they would ask him questions and they would understand things together. That is why I think he used mostly also parables, because he's trying to use things that they relate to.
Yeah.
So yes, that is why our men of God, in quotes, are not really considered people to fear, and yeah, they're just fellow colleagues who have probably studied theology, but they guide you through as you learn the word with them. So yeah,
it's not a place, it's not more of a place, they're not in a space whereby they feel like they're higher than the congregants.
Yeah, so it's less monetary. You
had to bring that up.
No, I'm just saying it's a less monetary. If you're a man of God, you don't really get paid there. It's just like a thing for passion. So
you just give yourself up.
Yeah, you just give yourself up to.
I feel it's not common, right?
It's not. But in Uganda we have 98 churches, I think, so far. 98 best churches so far. We actually have also a union called Baptist Union of Uganda. It's like how there is more like a diocese and everything. Yeah. For us, it's Baptist Union. So it's the one that registers the churches under there and makes sure that they follow that particular doctrine. So yes.
And you wanted to be
I wanted to be a pastor.
What was interesting about it?
Everything. I think it's also because I learned, growing up, we grew up, growing up with my dad.
Yeah.
Everything, you go to church. I actually we had what was called Bible Club. By then, Awana Club 2000. There are those people out there I know who know about it.
Yeah.
Awana 2000 was more like Bible school for young people.
Okay.
And I was really doing good. Like, you study the Bible, you get to memorize verses. So by P1 actually, I had so much interest for it. P2, I started memorizing verses and everything.
Whoa.
So literally my first book that I read was the Bible. That was read to me. Mom used to read to us before we go to sleep. Also because she
would
was
read the Bible for you.
A teacher of English, yes. So yeah.
A teacher of English, nothing like a storybook.
No.
The Bible.
Yes, because her life partner also.
Partner, her lifetime partner.
Yeah, she would just tell us stories from there. And I think one of the most interesting things that I had was the first hard words I managed to read was Pharisees, and it excited my dad.
Oh wow, can you imagine?
Yeah. So I wanted to
still in P2?
Still in P2 until even past adolescence, the post-adolescent stage,
you are grounded.
Yes, because I used to actually preach while at Kira College Boutique in O-level.
My goodness.
Yes. You're standing in the presence of the man of God.
Right.
Yeah,
boy.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like when you look back on the years, are you any different, or are there some values that you've carried with yourself until now? What implication has this kind of foundation had on your self as an adult?
I think the most thing that that I have was to actually love people as they are and to actually believe in people so much.
Yeah.
There's something about Christianity that makes you not give up on people. It's both a good and bad habit because you will tie. You will tie yourself.
Right.
Yeah, so
it's quite interesting because I just thought about, I've just been in that moment for like, I think about 2 weeks. And I was like, there is something on YouTube. The channel is called Grace for Purpose. And I landed on it in Feb.
Yeah.
So there is do you guys call them episodes?
Yes. Yes, we call them episodes.
But they're not numbered. So there is an episode.
Yes.
There's an episode that popped up, and I think they were asking that whatever you do in life, you'd ask yourself, what would Jesus do?
WWJD.
What is that?
What would Jesus
do? That
we
exists?
used to wear those things actually. T-shirts. Those are one of the things we had at Awana Club.
Oh my goodness.
WJD, what would Jesus
Oh my
do?
goodness. I'm not Christian enough.
Please.
I'm not Christian enough. What have I been doing in church?
Hey, you've been
I've never even heard about it.
Oh,
so
really?
they were talking
Yes.
about what would Jesus do, I thought it was just, I'm just learning that
Yeah, so
it's
I
a
think
thing.
that is one thing that we moved on with.
So I placed myself before Jesus and I looked at all my flaws. I looked at my weaknesses. And then you just sit back and pray and this guy is there. You're like, So it doesn't even give you a space to just cut out people just like that. But I have a moment. I do have a like, nah, and I'm not involving in this.
Yeah.
This is not worth it. You get to know it. I think it takes, I don't know, you should be the one to tell us. Have you been in a position whereby you learned to decide this is healthy and this is not healthy for me to stay around?
Yeah, I recently started considering choosing myself. Recently, by the way.
How long back is that?
Like
how recent is that?
2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like yesterday. No,
right.
2 years ago, I've been learning to actually. Yeah, because at some point, you break down. There's an analogy, I think that someone once told me that when you hold on tight to a rope that is being pulled.
It wasn't me?
No.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I just told someone that thing.
Well,
you're sure it's not me?
No, we have not gotten that intimate in conversation.
Really?
Yes, it wasn't you though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that whole imagination,
I think there was a monk talking about it.
Yeah, I think it was a monk actually.
Yeah.
That whole imagery of seeing a rope.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
When you hold so much onto it and it's being pulled away, it gets to cut you, it bruises you.
And what,
yeah.
And I think at some point all we want to do is be alive.
Right. I think so when you get to a moment of bruising, that's the moment for you to let go.
You to let go.
You don't have to let it cut any further.
You don't. You just be like, you know what? This is it for me. So right now I think one of the ways or one of the things I'm very cautious about is who to let into my life. I'm very, very I can talk to everyone, but I will not let everyone into my space. Yeah, so I can literally just give you an image that you want to know about me.
Yeah.
That is all. And beyond that, no, I will not, because I really do not want to say I am broken, no.
Yeah.
But I fear breaking.
It's okay to be broken. I'm serious.
Yes,
I'm serious.
Yes.
Like, it's a process. Because even when you're looking at, if you're talking about germination and all those things in agriculture, I mean, the seed gets to rot and then it germinates. So it's okay to break, but how do you come out of it?
How do you come out of it?
Yeah, when you get to learn the right coping method, it's okay, really. I don't want to tell all of us, the millennials, it's okay. We're too scared of...
It's not that
we keep going, Hedo, like, whatever comes. And then I pick up myself. I pick myself because I've been to the end.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm coming out of this. And I came out of it. So I'm like, I believe I've also reached actually a certain point and I'm like,
this, I don't think anything can ever try to break me beyond this. Again, which is actually true. But
you can't determine that.
You
though.
Can't. I cannot. I don't
unless
really
you're
want to gamble with life.
Yeah.
I hate gambling. I don't really like gambling, especially with life. So I only do something that I know or believe this is it. Like, this is actually it.
Yeah, that's hard.
That is hard. And sometimes when you go in saying this is actually it and you're wrong, oh my God, do you know? It is okay.
It is okay to be wrong.
Exactly.
No.
But do you know how it means to try to be very careful, and it doesn't work?
Yeah, I know.
I think it's how the Russians feel when the spies are double agents. Like, what? So yeah.
So from the pastor bit.
From the pastor bit.
Or do you still chase the dream of being a pastor?
And I decided to pick out a disciple who I will be like. That is Apostle Paul, who was a lawyer and also a disciple. Exactly. So I think the thing that is left in me in the theological endeavor is actually writing. I am pro-academic when it comes to religious kind of discourse. Yes, and I tend to be very, very open-minded. There is a book I'm trying to finish. It's taking a very long time because I really want to understand it so much. It's called Christianity, Christian Faith and Other Religions.
Christian faith and other religions. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
It's taking me to UCU's worldviews.
True, but
I'm really appreciative of that school.
Yes.
It opened me up to
different.
Yeah, and I was like, this is so cool.
And being taught by I should say can't really call it an Orthodox Christian university because they were very tight on certain Christian principles and they allowed you to see others.
To see Hinduism and all those other things.
This particular book actually talks about. It makes you know that
would be interesting.
That Christianity exists, but you need to know that there are other religions. When even you're going out to minister to someone, do not be hell-bent to make sure
that they turn to Christianity.
No, just give them the message. Also hear them out. If only religion was about getting to understand that sometimes the end goal is the same, and that is love, peace, and joy, which are the only things even in Corinthians that is talked about, the fruits of the Holy Spirit.
There you go.
Yes.
I can't even quote. Wait, the fruits of the Holy Spirit are in Corinthians?
In Corinthians.
Okay.
They emphasize there. So if you have the fruits in you, and I think Apostle Paul sometimes, is it, or Jesus himself that said, when they asked Paul that, how will we know them? And they're like, you will know them by their fruits.
How will you do what?
How will you know them? Like,
them who?
How will you know
the right ones?
The people of God.
Yeah.
Those ones, the people who, if you want to get someone like that one is a Christian, not church going.
Yeah. You get to know them by their fruits. I'm going to quote Corinthians.
I don't know the
Corinthians? Is it Corinthians?
Yes, it must be.
It's Paul who wrote Corinthians?
Yes, it was a letter to the Corinthians.
By Paul?
Yes.
Really?
Very, very sure. We can bring the Bible. But yes, it is his letter to the Corinthians.
I'm such a fake Christian. In the other episode, I didn't know who Hannah's husband was.
Yes.
Okay. So here you are lawyering.
Yeah, but...
And also talking about vodcasting. Is it vodcasting? Is there a word for it?
Yes.
Like podcasting?
Yeah, they call it vodcasting. I don't really think it's a word though, but that is what
we create the words.
We do.
We do create the words.
That is true.
We create the words.
Yeah. So I think my Christian background opened me up to other ideas. You get it?
Of exploring life,
because I think I got attached to liking to read. So now I got to start reading other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is how that whole journey growing up was. Then I studied literature. I like literature so much, and at some point I was like, you know what? I need to actually do something that will need me to keep reading.
Yeah.
And that is how I decided to do law.
To read?
Yeah.
Nothing related to
helping
Like,
to know. I do not. I can't say it is it's the only reason, but of course those.
The other one was
things.
the main reason.
Like the main
something
reason.
that
What
would keep
actually
you
made
reading.
me what is that thing? Because I'm not the kind of person who used to pass sciences, so I wanted to
Yeah.
get something that actually suits me.
Yeah,
Way back, and when
yeah.
I met literature, it kind of showed me, you're actually good at something.
When I met literature.
And I kept at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I started, even when reading the law, that is why I think
it comes very easy for you, yeah?
Yeah. And I'm not really pro or into appearing and what. You can give me to read and write an opinion, all those other things. Yes,
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. No, like
that is that part.
Some lifestyles are boring in some careers. Like you're shouting, is shouting.
You all know one of you is very wrong.
I know.
Just want to
it's just a clash of egos. And
exactly.
Can you find peace?
Can you just find peace?
So I hear you on all fours when you get to that. And then here you are in vodcasting, Broken Windows 256.
Yes.
How did you come up with this?
That idea was actually orchestrated right here. One afternoon in lockdown.
Lockdown?
Yes. Actually, lockdown, me, Shadrach.
That's when you guys started?
No, that is when we orchestrated the idea.
Okay.
We started immediately after
yeah.
lockdown in August, I think. Yeah. So we used to come and meet up here.
Yeah.
And would talk, not just me, Shadrach, Nathan, and some other guys.
Right.
But one of our friends used to actually record our conversations, like intentional, because the first time he came and was like, you guys speak about stuff people hardly talk about.
Yeah.
He secretly used to just record.
Without you guys knowing.
Then sometimes he's like, man, let me play for you guys something. He played our conversation. We're like, wait, what? And he's like,
you guys felt like geniuses, huh?
No, like there were different other things. And then we noticed at some point there was certain kind of like our conversations would either be constant or at some point would variate on different things.
Yeah.
And that is when someone suggested, you guys can actually, you should start up a podcast. And also, since I had an MCing background, I used to MC a lot.
Yeah?
Yes. I love to talk. For a living.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it just happened. We now decided to actually start the whole thing, but we wanted to be unique in a way that we wanted to touch things that people actually fear to talk about.
I mean, that's what he said.
Yes.
That's what your friend said,
That's
that
what
you're talking
he said,
about
yeah.
things that people barely talk about.
And then there's a book we had been reading, and Shadrach, before actually that whole time, I think during lockdown, Malcolm Gladwell. One, Outliers, then the other, Talking to Strangers.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, in one of them, it's I think Outliers, no. Yes, must be Outliers, where he talks about the broken windows theory. Yes, it's actually a theory in criminology.
Tell us about broken windows theory.
The broken windows theory is defined based on like an analogy or a pictorial view of a house that is abandoned, probably in a village, but it's incomplete. But some places are complete. You get some places windows all covered, the other places no. But now it's abandoned. Some it's been left there like for 2 years. Yeah. Then if one person goes and probably hits a stone and breaks the window and checks inside and realizes that no one actually stays here, a lot of I should say bad things, or a lot of things society tends to ignore or tends to refuse to accept that happen in their society actually go on there, like prostitution, drug abuse. People actually use those houses for that. Someone can go and actually take a dump there and leave.
Yeah.
The next day thieves can be there and no one wants to clean up that mess.
Yeah.
You get, so it brings out society in a way that we only want to pick out and solve one problem that we feel is easy to solve. We see the easiest people to catch here.
Where it's easy for us.
I'm
catching you.
Exactly.
I'm catching you.
So you want to, you accept, you first say that prostitution is wrong and everything, but it's a
How
bit
is it
beneficial. So you'd not touch, but you'd want the drug addicts, like these ones are easy to catch, and no one is actually going to try and support them. So you'll try to ignore that part. You'll try to ignore corruption, because to handle corruption, you'll tend to use more money that you actually have. You don't have. So you ignore those ones and handle only the petty things. So you clean up the easy things to clean up. Then you leave all this other dirt there, and then you go back and sit and say, we as society are working on ourselves. That is why you see very outrageous acts like the anti-pornographic bill coming up. And it really doesn't make so much sense if you read it. It's talking about how short is a miniskirt. He tells you how many inches above that. Like, it is very you get, because you do not actually want to tackle the issue as it is. You ignore that probably gay people exist within our society. You do not want to accept that this is us. This is us.
It's part of society.
It's part of society. Not
so how do we, like, we I feel like what you're talking about is something related to, you know, for you get to act like you're cleaning up,
but you
just sweep everything under the rag, and
then you cover.
Let it smile.
Exactly. All you can do probably is ignore or tell people, we don't want to see anyone within that house.
But you're not doing anything about it.
Totally. So society doesn't want to accept that there are certain things we need to, probably an overhaul of probably culture. Like, we need to start understanding our culture from its roots.
Right.
Instead of wanting to look at everything in copy and paste, because America is doing this, let's see how they're doing it. We're also going to, exactly. So we have failed. So that is the broken windows theory.
It's quite interesting.
It's very interesting, and it describes how literary society is, because everyone wants to. I think one of the books we read in S4 was how Lord of the Flies. No, that was Form 6. Literature. Lord of the Flies.
I didn't want to engage with you people. Someone convinced me that literature was hard.
No, it was very
But then, let me tell you something. I saw my marks. I keep very many. I keep books. I have my P7 books.
You look like those people.
So I found my S1, I think, literature paper. And my marks were high. I was like, who told me this? Who did this to me? But then at the same time, I was like, it's okay. Because I really loved French, and I'm an artist. So I was like, still I wouldn't have chosen it. But I was convinced that literature is hard. Don't even think about it.
Literature was.
And then here I am as an adult. I was like, I feel cheated.
You have to try and track back.
I feel cheated. Who did this to me?
Yeah.
So when you talk about yourself in is it Chira?
Yes, Chira College.
Yes, when you talk about yourself at the times of school, what was it like for you in school?
It was amazing in its own way.
How long were you there?
I was there for 4 years, but then I should tell you part of my school, how I ended up in schools that I went to, because I first studied in sorority demonstration.
Yeah. Is that primary?
In primary, yeah. Sorority dem, I think I was in P2, P3, first term. Now, that place was amazing. I was actually there. I'd just gotten in. No. I'd gotten into P2. Yes, I remember now. Now, the whole, how the headmaster, since it's a village school, would motivate people to pass, was for it from because P1 would all sit on the ground. Like all of us. Yeah, not that we intentioned that desks were kept away, no. There were no desks. Yes, it's a village school again. So we're all seated on the floor.
Oh my goodness.
So it wasn't yoga.
It wasn't yoga.
Yes, so we would sit on the floor.
Yeah.
So, but our headmaster would motivate in a way that when you join P2, the class monitor and class mistress sit on the desk. So you really work hard to want to be
a monitor.
You would really see people intentionally do it, meet up one by one, I really need this.
At that young age,
this man is the late. He died this year in January.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
He taught us a very different kind of view. We we didn't try to be like other schools. We knew we were an unprivileged school, but we loved it there.
Oh yeah,
Now from P2 to P3, actually crossing to P2 also. You know that in P2 you're taken to town for you to actually see the zebra crossing, and then you cross and everything.
Oh
my dad was very dramatic about it because he had a camera. The time when we were crossing, my dad made me do it like 3 times. All right, Joel. And you see all the class, so the teacher stands beside and calls your names one by one. Probably Adong, all right. What do? You look left and then you look right.
But that's so nice. We only did this in class. We were never taken to the road.
That was what the headmaster,
very practical.
He was called Mr. Ewuchu, the late
but the
John
picture
Knight.
moment.
No, my dad didn't just take. He recorded. There's actually a tape. You know those big tapes?
Oh, I like your dad.
Yeah, so he recorded out. Okay, Joel. They let him do it. He's like, I'm gonna let him do it again. Go back.
Oh my goodness.
Joel, smile, do it. What? So he would actually make you like it. So I left in P3 when rebels came, Coin Rebels. We actually had to run to town that time. It's also a story for another day, but being that young and everything, we had girls in our neighboring school were being raped, defiled, and like you just.
So you were in a boarding school, or was it during day?
Yeah, it was boarding. So what they would come and do is work like when.
So you had girls wailing in the other school.
You really had gunshots. And our schools were next to each other.
Was it also a primary school?
Primary school, yes, primary school. I'm talking about the primary school.
I know for your part.
Yeah, even the girls' school. There was a primary school, Madra Girls. Then there were 2 others. Recently, a girl talked about it on Twitter, and I realized my close friend at UCU had never told me she was actually in that school, but she actually wrote an entire thing of how she too had to run to town during that time.
In the night.
So that whole thing, that is how I ended up coming to study in Iganga. Because we ran, then early morning, it's a very long story, but early morning,
we're here to hear it. Wait, because I didn't see this coming.
Yes, I know you didn't see this coming.
Because for some reason, when you hear stories, you feel like they're very far away.
Very far away.
Until you get in conversation with someone, you're like, wait, what?
Now, the lucky part.
Because now, still, this is all theory in class. You're talking about the effects of war.
Yes, of war.
And how families get distorted and dispersed.
Exactly.
And you're running from school, not even home.
Not even home. Running from school to home. And I remember, I think...
To home?
To home.
Okay.
From school to home. Because we're in a village. It was a bit... But
did you have siblings in there, or were you alone in the school?
I was alone. My big brother was in Iganga, by the Iganga boys. Then, my young brother was in Kumi, I recall. He was actually in Soroti in town, studying at my auntie's school. So for him, he was actually in town. Now, us who were in the outcast, we had to access town. And the weird part is, in the morning, the stories you hear, so-and-so was killed. And you're like, wait, I know that guy. You know the people who have been shot and everything. That was a very bizarre time. And I think it also worked on my Christian life a lot. Because, by then they're not called refugees, IDPs, internally displaced people. They came and slept in church. So church had to keep feeding. And
your dad was the pastor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all that, and you actually see such things happening. And I think that is another thing that taught me to accept people, and because we would actually see things go on. Most of these people, probably their mouths were cut. Those things they tell you. You
saw that?
Yes.
I was seeing
and
this
nose
in the
cut,
news.
Ears, what? And you're like, oh my God. But we ran to town. I managed to get to town. And though for me, the lucky bit was I was friends with a lot of bigger boys.
Yeah.
In Soroti, there's something about that area where all of you know each other. You can know this one is a son to this one and what. Yeah. So yes, we managed to access. That was the first time we managed to access home. Now the next time, school first had to go on a phase of you need to come, all boarding schools became day schools. For that next week, the rebels re-attacked. But this time, they came to Soroti. Now the unfortunate bit was, I thought.
Wait, I thought they had still come to sorority when you were in the school.
Yes, but the outcasts of sorority.
Okay,
Those are the outcasts.
okay,
Yes, not
okay.
really inside
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
Now this time they actually managed to access town. This is how actually the whole, if you've heard of Arrow Boys.
No, have I?
The Arrow Boys, those were the soldiers. The young boys who became soldiers in sorority who chased Connie. Like the UPDF.
Who chased Connie?
Yes, the UPDF.
Young boys.
Let me tell you, we have classmates, we know people, our
who were Arrow Boys.
Yes, who joined because there was actually a radio announcement asking if you're in a family which are the boys who are able-bodied, because we are not, if we wait for the army to come, people are going to have died. So that is how people managed to pick up arms with one of these ministers who now are there, the likes of Echweru and Mukula, are the ones who actually called upon. So that is how everything was formed and all that, So minus that whole part, I think, the whole desire to leave sorority had now started appearing, like, you know what, I actually have to leave here. Because the next... when
you were thinking about that yourself?
No, like...
Your dad?
My dad wasn't actually around. He was pursuing his last papers in theology in the States. So he went with my mom. So we are actually alone. So at home where I went, it was just me and the maid. So the second time they actually came, let me shock you. The maid was either at her man's place, or as she told me, she slept at a friend's place.
Yeah.
So I woke up and I was
How old were you?
House. I should have been, this is P3, P4 now. I was very young, by the way. Let me tell you, I cried. I rehearsed prayers. I urinated because you would keep hearing gunshots. Not that we are crying because you're hearing rumors. No. Our home was strategically positioned between police barracks and army barracks.
Ouch.
So we would hear the tankers moving. And I'm like, okay.
And you were alone in the house.
Now that is when...
Because that's like the age of 8.
Yes, my auntie decided to, who was in Kumi district, which is close to us, decided to send for us. Now they kept telling people, you can't, because rebels were actually burning taxis with people in them. You can't, we used the lorry, I remember, through a certain route.
Man, this is like a movie. Like,
reminding me how we left, because I don't...
So your young brother was in the house as well?
No, for him he was at an auntie's place within sorority. So we got us together, they put us on this lorry, and we passed a certain bush area to reach Kumi. It was my young brother reminding me, by the way, we used the lorry that time. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. We actually used the lorry because we didn't have a lot to carry, and I don't remember us being enclosed while traveling, and we used another route. So that is when now I joined Iganga Boys. I used to be called Obunak Joel.
Right, yes.
Just without Otim. But then the way people there pronounce my name, it got to me. It got to me, so I changed my name. I just picked my dad's name and I started calling myself Otim.
Yeah, you always have to choose the safest landing. That's how I ended up as Nabuguzi Kiwanuka. I was tired.
You're tired.
These guys,
like nothing for you. I will not give you the pleasure.
Not anymore. They misspell it. They are like, are you serious? Don't like Nabuguzi Kiwanuka is it.
And I think
it's quite a story.
It is. Sometimes I can sit back and be like, I've experienced a lot of stuff, which is nice. And like no one actually gets. I have very few
like your history yourself.
Exactly. Who actually I get to tell this story and they're like, wait, what? But now with my colleagues who were with me in sorority, we talk about these things laughing and like, wait, that day, it found me here. So you get, it reminds me of, I think, Ngugi wa Thiong'o's book, must be either The River Between or one of his books where the people are talking about the war and everything. Yeah. And if you had ever gotten time to step in sorority in
not
around
yet. I've not yet gotten a
2009.
chance to be there.
Okay, now it's changing. Around 2009 we had a self-imposed curfew. Because when the rebels came, it became law that you need to be in your house by exactly 5
p.m.
by then there were a lot of, I don't really call them theories, but there were a lot of things that would happen. They tell you, there's a word they used to call them wreckers, known as spies, who probably rebels come to check and see if soldiers are around here, then they go back so that the rebels do like an attack.
Yeah.
So there were wreckers who were there. So that is the time they said they would move. So if they find anyone moving within that time, you're a wrecker. You're a wrecker.
Ouch.
Either arrested or mobbed.
Uh-oh.
Or mobbed. It became personal that there's a time one of Connie's deputies was shot, called Opio.
Okay.
And they brought him to like the bomber grounds of Soroti. Yes, they're called Soroti Sports Ground, but also known as bomber grounds. They brought the dead bodies there, and what people ran after and stoned it. Like you would really see the rage and hatred people had for the war.
Yeah.
But it also, the spill effect is that area never votes this government, by the way. At all. That is like now the spill effect. If you recently saw the area that
could it be because they struggled on their own?
Because they struggled and because we actually saw things go on, and you're seeing no one is actually coming.
Right.
Like yes, the UPDF came, but later when everything was now. After
the Arrow Boys work. Now tell me about this Arrow Boys.
The Arrow Boys project was formed, but the fear was these people could turn out to become rebels against the government now. Because they actually managed to get these people out. Yeah. Because it was a whole entire network, like a community thing.
These were youths?
These were youth. Yeah. Between the age of 12. These were young people, 12. Because I tell you that even, I know like 3 classmates of mine who were actually there. Who joined in. And then people above us. So you actually know. So and so when they tell you, go and ask about where his son, so he joined. Yeah. Like, hey man, I hope he survives. You get? And you'll be shocked. All these guys are either now in Kampala as tax conductors or what, because the reward wasn't as, they just picked out probably the few people and then they were rewarded. I will not make this a political podcast. But yeah, so the spill effect is just the political voting. Yeah. So yeah, I joined Iganga Boys. I know very limited any Bantu language. I only know English. And those people used to call me a Waizeka because I only know English. I'm very black. So that it's black Muzungu. Yeah.
Tell me about your color. There's a time we were having a conversation and you had something to say about school and how they used to, talk about your complexion.
Yes, I think anyone who went to both primary and secondary school, especially secondary, within that time, day and age, should bear me witness on this. The dark boys were considered not good looking. We're ugly. We're the ugly lot.
So who was saying these things? Was it the other single-sex schools with the girls or fellow boys?
No, it was just fellow boys. For them, because I think rap music tends to show certain things. And when you watch rap music, it's the brown, nice, neat. For someone to be probably an R&B artist, is either nice looking, brown, there's a brown complexion and everything.
But we have the likes of the what is this guy called?
Dark.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I really don't know where it was. But I think it was a thing by then. So, and it would happen in the way they treat. When it's probably an event, and I told you, when it's an event, they probably pick out as ushers, what are the brown guys? And
no wonder they're not liked. They're the sissies now.
They're now called the sissies, exactly.
They just be there waiting.
During that whole time, I'd taken it upon myself. It's not that bad. At least I breathe. So
wait, you're called ugly?
Yeah, not that they call you ugly and everything.
But you were an outcast.
Like, my man, these things are not for us.
Are you serious?
And I think it kind of made me it intimidated me to actually approach girls and all.
Because you knew on the onset that you're going to be reminded that you're ugly.
And embarrass myself there. What are you? And I know you've seen those pictures where they have like boys pushing their friend to approach a girl. That has actually happened to me because I really didn't want. Yeah. Like, if you've noticed in this whole thing, I like my comfort right now. I'm a person who, if I'm not wanted there, I will not be there. So most times I would just withdraw. And I think that whole thing because we're from the north, Badokolo, what?
Yeah.
There was that kind of stereotype that was your villagers, you get?
Yeah.
And I'm not the guy who liked working too hard to show people, to impress.
Right.
So I even refused to learn how to break dance to try and join the cool people. It's good. No, you would not see me balancing my shot. Nothing, because we would wear white shirts and white shorts.
I saw those things.
And then we are black. But even the guys who used to call us black, if you see them, they're like, Angie, you black, man. We're all like, we're all black. So yeah.
Wow.
It's a very funny thing, that but also interesting. Like I got to see life, watch life from the out, like off. I would not always be trying to be called by peer pressure, like, hey, yo, we are going to do this one. We're already considered uncool. You're the ones, your role is to bring OD. Gene at best. That is as a mudokolo.
All right. You have to fit in.
So when they ask man, do you
of...
have OD? You're like, I don't have. Why did you bring then from?
So what purpose?
What is your purpose? What did you bring then? So
like you're not handsome.
You're not handsome.
You don't have OD. Like
you don't know how to break dance. You don't know. You don't have OD. So yeah, it made you accept. You actually watch life while you watch the other guys do things as you're seated back, and I think that is how I found solace in God.
Right.
A lot of those traditional schools.
Were you praying to God to make you handsome? Did you ever get to that point?
I don't have to say it here.
Like we need to find out, because if you're talking about...
I think one of the things I did was ask God that I just want to find a woman who will like me.
Oh.
The way I am. That is the truth.
Yeah.
And my O-level was actually very shy. Like, it shocks people right now, my O-level hobbies, when they meet me and they're like, this guy was a minor. He was someone with... You get, because I was within a group of people. I would just try to be with people. That is where I actually come out very well. Yeah. But alone, I was no one. And I think until I joined mixed school. When I joined,
that is for your A-level?
For my A-level.
Yeah.
Something about Nalia that made me, like, it reignited my esteem. I can't say boutique broke my esteem, but I mean,
it was part of it.
Create you. It's like that is part of the training.
Yeah.
Because from then, I learned that no one is going to teach me shit.
Yeah.
No one is going to ever tell me I am the best at it. I just have to tell myself and do it.
Right.
Like, no one is going to pamper you in this world. So that is what... And I think I was watching a Netflix special of Chris Rock where he was saying, stop telling your kids they are kings and queens. No, tell them the truth. That, my guy, here at home, we do love you, but out there, it's harsh. Exactly, it's harsh, and that is what single school taught me, because we got to, and I think that is why I'm closer to my friends from there. Like people I actually met there, because you actually meet intentional friends. Yeah. You meet people and then they stuck by you and because they accepted you for who you are. When you join particular places, probably you're liked because of fame,
what you bring
on the table and everything. And I was reading Trevor Noah's book called Born a Crime. Right. Born a Crime, he describes his life as he was the funny guy. So I had to learn to be the funny guy. I had to learn. You read that book that early? No, I mean recently.
Oh, recently. When I read it,
it came out. It just came out recently.
So you're going to tell us lies?
I think when I read it is when I was like, yeah. So I actually learned to be the funny, because that is what I did. Yeah. I just started becoming someone who is probably sarcastic.
You came out of your shell. I came out
of my shell. When I joined Nalia, very hesitant on sitting with girls and everything. And in the beginning, it created the right environment, because girls would sit alone, boys sit alone. Yeah. They would sit behind, they would sit in front, like that. Until we went on slowly by slowly. But yeah, when you tend to, I don't know, I think there is something about we as humans, our genders are supposed to complement each other. Right. So I think my character fluidly started coming out now around the girls and everything.
Yeah.
Because unlike boys, girls can easily appreciate that. Hey man, you look good. Hey guy, to tell you that. To tell you that you're dressed well. If you've not told him.
No, I think it's because they're just conditioned to imagine that you don't say that about fellow guys.
Yeah, exactly. But
which for the women, they would feel like it's a competition.
Yeah.
They don't want to say that to the fellow women.
Exactly. But then
I was called weird for calling a girl beautiful. Like, I saw her, and then I had also joined, when I joined the mixed school for my HSC.
Yes.
I loved it best there. Like, I don't know what really happened, but I felt accepted wholly. I wasn't, like, I think the girls in the school were busy with the boys, so no one had time to concentrate on me and attack me and for who I was and, you know, all those kinds of things.
As long as you're not taking their men.
I wasn't. I was just there to look at them like, ah. I was just there like, oh. So I was walking down in the dormitory area. I was walking with another girl. I don't remember who it was. So I saw a younger girl, like, she was so beautiful. Personally, I don't know how to keep quiet when I say something nice. I just want to talk about it. I was like, excuse me, you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
So this girl that I was walking with quickly walked away from me. So I had to chase after her, and she was like, that's weird. You don't tell girls that they're beautiful. You can see it and you just leave it. Like, what?
Okay, now that is the other part.
Yeah, she was offended. Like, wait, what?
So I think
and then this girl was like, yeah, thank you. I mean, I was relaxed now. I was like, yeah, I've told her. And then the other was offended, like, hey, maybe I did wrong. I had to first compliment her.
Yes.
Wow, it makes sense.
Or maybe because you had never complimented her.
Of course I hadn't.
I hope she's listening.
I don't remember who it was. Wow.
Yeah, but I think even with guys, I think for us it's just the toxic masculinity where you're like, a guy has to be hard. You just don't release your feelings easily like that.
That's why I was telling you it's okay to write yourself letters.
True. Very, very funny. I don't know if I told you how they wrote a letter to me and I thought it was a girl who had written to me. Yeah, in Butiki we had that tradition where when you receive a letter from a girl, especially our dormitory, people grab it and they read. Yeah, to like make other guys know that, hey, our guy is on the right road to manhood.
To manhood, yeah.
So S1, S2, I'd never received anything, not even a hi. You know, we had Buzz magazine, not even, you know, there was that particular page which had shout outs. I sent shout outs to so and so.
Oh yeah? Yes. I don't remember that part.
You don't remember? Yeah, but there was a page for shout outs and I'd never also received. It was S2, third term, second term. So these boys of mine, because most of my friends, some of them were with me in sorority.
Yeah.
Like we grew up together, then we went to, there's that culture about sorority actually where people of a certain group take their children to the same schools if they're taking them out of Kampala. You remain in a cluster. Yes. They take them either to Tororo girls, Iganga boys, Butiki, Jinja College.
Yeah.
There is just that thing that all of them are taken like that, so would all come here. So yeah, I met guys from my area that side. So whenever I would read in holidays, there's a girl who was with me in primary, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'd never really told her that. Of course, I didn't have, but I looked at, she looked nice. But I never mentioned it. But when I would ride to school, I would give her a lift.
Yeah.
The headmaster.
Right.
Yeah, I would ride. And it was just one term before I went to the village school. So yeah, I would ride her to school and everything, but would never really talked for long.
Yeah.
So I meet her now when we're in secondary, and she called Sandra. I talked to her and I felt very okay. These guys are like, what's wrong with you? Even me to talk to her, they pushed me to talk to her. They waited to go. We are here waiting for you.
We're here waiting for you. You have to bring results.
You have to bring results. So you go, you talk to her, and she said, like how she just said she's heading home to wash plates. those are things that happen. Those are real things, by So like, hey, tomorrow, is she coming tomorrow? Yeah. Tomorrow again you have to talk to her. I tell you, like, okay.
Yeah.
So when we went back to school, Fool's Day, these guys write a letter to me. And they orchestrated everything, paid even a letter boy to have a stamp, what? So they read it out for me.
Why are guys like that?
You know what? I loved the letter. Oh my God. Like they read the entire thing. I was in awe. I'm like, wait, what?
Why were they reading it? Why wouldn't they?
Because they read it out in front of them. Hey, Otim Joel, hey, the letters which are here. Yeah. Read it out. I grabbed it. What I read. I'm like, wow.
Oh my goodness, that's so
done me a
bad.
These stupid guys forget to tell me that it was Fool's Day. That's why they gave me the letter. So the entire term go through, I kept this damn letter. It got dirty, just so you know. I kept this letter. I would read it during times of my lows. And just
to lift your spirit.
To lift my spirit.
Oh my goodness.
I even sent a reply. Have you ever replied a letter?
No.
Exactly. I sent a reply.
No.
Expecting a reply. The best thing about this reply was the girl had changed from the school I knew she was in. So I actually wrote to no one. Or someone received and read it. So in holidays, I think Pastor Kayanja had come to Soroti.
Yeah.
So I go, I walk, I saw her, because those were like meeting points, conferences for us, the religious people.
The religious people!
In the market.
Yeah.
So I go, I walked past her, she didn't say anything. I'm like, hey.
The person wrote. Oh my goodness.
I passed again, she said nothing. So I see her, my case Sandra, like, hey, team, what? She gives me, I was like, could be true. Could be very true. So I tell her, did you receive my letter? She's like, no. Which letter? I just realized I can't ask the next question of, did you send me a letter? So I tell, I'm like, hey, no, it's okay, it's okay. It's like, no, which letter did you written? I'm like, no, it's okay, I was playing with you. So I get back to school, and I'm, you know, when you go back to boarding school, when you go that first day, all of them bring your mattresses, So as we were seated, and I'm telling these guys, by the way, man, I met Sandra, but hey, like, oh man, shit, I forgot to tell you, we're the ones who wrote that letter.
Oh no.
Now the thing was, over 30 guys were involved in this whole thing. You can't hate 30 people because we're in the same dorm, but you can't hate your own.
30 people wrote.
They were involved in this.
It took 30 men.
It took 30
to bring
men.
out emotions.
Exactly. Girl emotions. They were
That's a lot of work.
Don't tell it. Don't tell it.
That's a lot of investment.
Exactly. Bruh, I got first piece that entire day. And I said, man, for what, man? I can't hate people I'm going to keep seeing every day. 30
people is a big number to hate.
So, but we let it go. So I think partly that is how they brought out some courage in me, because you see, after writing that letter, I tried to go and talk to the person. So yeah, they
and
did
she was
work.
okay.
And she was okay.
Yeah. And you're like, huh?
Funnily,
after
on her
all,
wedding,
you don't die with ugly.
She's wedded now on her way.
Yeah.
Before her wedding, when she sent me the invitation, I told her, hey, by the way, I had a serious crush on you. I was like, what? And you never told me.
You guys are doing this?
What?
What? Like, why?
Exactly. And you're like,
I'm telling everyone, if you have a crush on me right now, you need to say it.
I know. You need to say it immediately.
Don't wait for me. I'm like, why go?
You get those anonymous Facebook messages, you'll be there.
No, I'm not doing that. Do not inbox me.
But how will they tell you they have a crush on you? They send doves.
They need to write a letter through post office.
Through post office.
I'm a lover of letters. Up
You're
to now.
antique.
Very antique, my
Vintage.
friend.
Nice.
Very. So, Otim, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes.
And before you leaving us...
It's already done. Jeez, I'm enjoying being here.
I know.
Yeah.
Before you leaving us, when you look at, oh wait, how did you find confidence, in your physical self? Because recently we had that conversation whereby a girl called you ugly and you said, "You're lying."
Exactly.
But first, take us through what really happened. What really happened that day? How did you come into this confidence?
I love rugby, so I'd gone. Okay, how did I come into this? I think it's joining mixed school. When I joined mixed school, and these girls, they're very, very serious about telling me nice things. So I want to thank them. Because
it looks like girls really have power on guys.
Yeah, because when I joined Nalia, there was a competition, speech competition, which I won for all the Nalia schools.
Yeah.
I won massively. That the head teacher even came out saying, any project you want to run, I'm ready to fund it.
Whoa.
Like you've shown what I want in a basic student, not just performance and everything, but be able to express and all that. And remember, that all comes from my literature background.
Yeah.
So from then, there's something about fame also and attracting people to start now trying to associate with you. So in this way, I started to get to know people directly. You get? Because you see, there are those who were fearing probably to talk to me because they thought, it's probably way up or beyond
out of my
league and what, and they'll be, but do you know what girls say about you in the dormitory? And like, tell me. Yes, so those kind of things, I think some of them could have been lies.
Like the letter.
But then the
letter is hurtful.
No, I'm saying what the girls would tell me. But I think there was a certain consistency that you'd see in what they mention about what they like, and like, could be true, my G. It could be true. So
how many years down the road now? Like 5 years down the road, someone is telling you you're ugly. 8
years.
8 years.
8-9 years down the road, I'm at Legends, and before even that place, just within this year, something happened where we had gone out, and then I think we were talking. It was still rugby.
Yeah.
Rugby attracts a lot of people, by the way, also girls of different walks of life. So I see a particular girl with a tattoo. That was in 2017. I see a particular girl with a tattoo on her hand. But I was seated up with someone, like 2 other friends of mine who are girls, and then my boys.
Yeah.
Then I tell one of these girls, hey, she has a nice tattoo. And the girl hears, and she's like, why did you tell me in person? And I was like, anyway, the truth is,
why did you tell me in person?
So we ended up talking the entire time. Now let me show you how our conversation ends. Our conversation ends with her telling me, like when the game gets done, she's like, hey, I think, where are you guys going? I'm like, hey, we're going to, because we're at Legends, we're like, we're going to Chadondo for pork. That pork is really nice. Hey. She's like, even me, I'm going there. Where are you guys going to be? I'm like, I don't know, just somewhere. These guys decide, like, hey, anyway, I hope I will see you again. I was like, I hope so. She's like, wow, how? Then I'm like, I think you watch rugby, don't you? She's like, yeah, I do. I'll see you here.
Okay.
I was like, okay. So when she left, these girls were like, what is wrong with you? That girl literally wanted you to ask for her number.
So you didn't think?
I was like, wait, what? This whole time I was having an innocent conversation with a stranger. Sometimes also it's very weird. Girls don't want their numbers to be asked. Then there are those who want, you will want a certain guy to ask for your number, but you will not want another certain kind of person to ask. Exactly.
Like, so, there is always
so
the
as
intended
guys,
audience.
you just have to play safe. Just, have a normal conversation.
And fine.
No, first just have a normal conversation with some of them and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
And this person was like, that person actually needs your number. I was like, whoa, yeah. Actually did like we are watching you coming. So I was like, okay. So some of those things actually increase your confidence. Then you come to this unfortunate day where you meet a girl who is probably intoxicated and probably annoyed.
Annoyed with life.
With life, you tell them, can we share not even to be with you. Can we leave our drinks here? And you're like, no, you guys are very many. And then because I insist, you start telling me, you're not even nice looking. And I was like, I am. You're lying. I am good looking, my friend. Because no one, as I told you, some stuff told me I was not single school teachers. You will not tell me shit. I'm the one to tell you.
You're that cute when you're like, I told her you're lying.
You're lying.
You're lying.
And she boldly looked at me like, wait,
She was in shock.
She was in shock.
It's so funny. Because like the message that she was passing was meant to break you down.
Yeah, like to break me down.
No, you're lying. You're lying.
You're lying. Don't let us not go down this road. She knew she was lying. And I think if I meet her again, she'll be like, the truth is I was lying.
So how do you keep yourself grounded? How do you keep yourself in check? Your mental health, social media, and all these things happening in the country. Yeah,
I tend to be around the right company. Yeah, I be around people I know.
Yeah,
make me happy. You get, or people who have the same idea with me. I have no issue with someone, with us not agreeing on things.
Yeah,
but not because I don't agree with your way of life doesn't mean I hate you. Yeah, we can meet up, link once in a, but there's certain people who are actually good for your daily health. And also I tend to withdraw from certain places a lot. Like sometimes I can just be like, I'm giving myself 2 weeks break from doing this. Yeah, and you just take breaks and also reading books that helps you travel different worlds.
Yeah,
like you tend to see the world in another person's eye, and it's all reminding you there's good out there. So, and that is what we are looking for. Even Jesus said it, man, spread the good news.
Nice.
He didn't say do this and this. He emphasized and when I leave, spread the good news. Yeah, he didn't say go and tell them they are sinners.
But did he say that?
Yes, he did. Go and spread the good news. And he said, what is the gospel of the good news is that I came, I died, and rose again for everyone. That is the gospel of the good news.
Okay.
You need to read your good news Bible. Yes.
The biggest thing that I know about the Bible was because I studied divinity. So it was really more about studying and maybe just a little bit of church.
Yeah, true.
So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's been a great conversation.
I am glad.
And I'm glad that you stepped into your confidence as a handsome man.
Yes, a handsome gentleman like me.
I think you noticed. Hey, I'm guilty. I didn't want the conversation to end. But that part about the 8-year-old in the house alone during war, that's everything descriptive of the term horrific. And what's humbling is that we have victims of the Coney War who are out here making a difference in society. Big up to you, Otim. As for the Arab boys who protected sorority, this episode is dedicated to you too. My takeaway from this is be confident in your kind of handsome. For the women, be confident in your kind of beautiful. Hey, no one can tell me that I'm ugly after this episode. No one. You are lying. No one. You are lying. But hey, I also need to up my relationship with the Bible. I keep getting caught off guard. Man. Thank you for tuning in into another episode of Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka. If you loved what you heard, make sure you subscribe to Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka in your podcast platform of choice and share it with your friends. Let them know that this is dope. Hey, if you hear me using colloquial language, friend, it's fire. Okay, I'm now serious. Feel free to also share your insights about what connected with you on social media, and be sure to tag us. We are at Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter our handle is at HTNK Podcast. HTNK is in caps lock and podcast is in small case. It's all one word. at HTNK Podcast. And we got an email too. For the introverts who wish to communicate privately, we have a plug for you, HTNK Podcast. Now, for the email, it's all small case. htnkpodcast@gmail.com is your plug. For those who wish to communicate, Mukama, you want to whisper, come through to the email, htnkpodcast@gmail.com. Your reviews are welcome. I really look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, remember the prize of stepping into your confidence. Ciao.